Okay, so this is my video demonstration for the Internet of Things and Cloud Computing Assignment 1. So I made a mobile application. Just open it up. Now, first thing that you can do is measure light. I'm just going to put my hand over it so that when I measure light, it doesn't really detect a lot of light. It has to be dark. See? Optimal. It says the amount of lux that it detected. With that pop-up, it says light levels within recommended range. And you can log this to the cloud database right here. It'll give you a pop-up saying, do you want to log this for today? Say yes, and it says it logged that amount on this date. Now, the other thing that you can do is measure it in more brighter lighting. So measure light. Now it says caution, 73.98 lux. It's more than 10. Anything 10 or above lux is caution. It says above recommended levels of light. And just check that my phone's volume is on. Okay. If you were to log this to the cloud, then just wait. Now I don't know if you could see that you see that pop-up that just appeared, said how long it took to go through each item. That's just for the development, just to check the latency of everything. The reason why it's saying warning now and why the alarm went off, I don't know if you could hear the alarm, but the alarm went off because it's been more than 3 days of more than the recommended levels of light. So if you look at the past 5 days of entries, and for more than 3 out of those 5 days, or no, 3 or more out of those days, you have been in above the recommended exposure of light, then it will flash this warning saying that you are going through extended exposure. Because the point is to check if you're sleeping with the right amount of light, and it gives you a warning if you've been sleeping for a few days in above the recommended amount of light. The next thing that this show entries or view entries, this will just take a second for it to load. It says how long it took and how many items there were in. You'll see that it's a bit out of order, and that's because of these two buttons here. Add artificial date above and add artificial date below. So if you add an artificial date above, then it gives you a new entry with a random made up date that is above the recommended amount of light. And if you put an add artificial date below, then it gives you a random entry with a random date that is below the recommended amount of light. And I just put that in just for development reasons, because I couldn't actually wait for 7 days or whatever to log everything, because sometimes I clear the database, and it's these are just for development. And that's also why these things are a little bit out of order. It's because they just pick random dates, but if you were to use it normally, then everything would be in order. Now I can go back. If I try to log to the cloud before measuring anything, it says you need to measure the light in your room before you can log an entry. So let's actually clear the database so that we can see what it looks like when you have above the recommended levels of light, but not for an extended period of time. So let's clear the database. Yes. And now I am going to measure the amount of light. Caution. Okay. So this is above the recommended level of light, but you'll see it won't give that warning flash this time because it's the first day in the log that has been above the recommended level. So, log to cloud. Do you want to log this entry for today? Yes. And there will be no alarm and no warning flash. Okay, see? Now it says there's only one item I had to go through. And, okay, yeah, so there's no warning there, and that's the application. I made this in the MIT App Inventor, So it was entirely developed just in the browser program that they have, and then I downloaded I built the Android APK and then downloaded that onto this phone. So that's how I made the app, and that's what the app does.